Hey guys, so I've managed to do a little bit more to the van today. A really good amount of progress actually. The first thing that we started off doing was changing the reversing bulb from a normal bulb to an LED. Oh my god, it makes such a difference. Really good LED light. I'm really happy with that. And then after that we managed to get the bulkhead trims that we cut down and sanded, and we've just popped them back in place just so that they're not going to get damaged and they're out of the way. We will probably carpet them last with whatever we have left of the carpet, to be honest. And then we did some more carpeting finally, so we're pretty much, I would say, halfway there with the carpeting. Thank god. I really want to get this carpeting done. Both sliding door panels are now carpeted, so that's really good. Really happy that they're done. They are really tricky to get back on. It's an absolute fiddle. The only thing I've got to do now is obviously the main panels and think about carpeting all of this stuff here. Not really sure how I'm going to do it. After watching the Coombe Valley camper videos, they basically explain that there's two ways to carpet your van. The first way is just to literally carpet all in one go. Then the other way is to basically take the panel off, carpet, and then think about carpeting the panel and then stick the panel to the carpeted back, if that makes any sense. Which I actually quite like the idea of that, but thinking realistically, I think I probably will just go with the first option and literally just carpet from the bottom here all the way up and just literally carpet in one go. But anyway, the next stage will be to finish off the carpeting. Obviously I'll probably have to take off the roof panel to do that, just to make sure that when I put the roof back up it'll all be nicely in place. I'm not going to be putting on the box covers for the wheel arches, only because I'm planning on getting, potentially from Van Furniture, their pre-built bed unit, if that makes sense. So you just literally slide it in and it's got everything in it. You bolt it down and you're done. Or I could make it myself, you know, make it uniquely how I want it. I'm weighing up my options here and whether to just buy it, just get it done, or whether to build it myself. Now it's just about starting to think about how I'm going to have the layout of the van, really. So it is slowly starting to progress. Enjoy the video and stay tuned for more updates on the van.
Okay guys, so I thought I'd just do a little bit of a voiceover for this part, just so you kind of know what's going on. To start with, we've got quite a lot of carpet to work with, so what we're going to do is just cut it to shape slightly, giving ourselves a bit of room around the edges so that you can do the stretching at the end once you've glued it all together. Once you've got rid of the carpet that you don't need, we are just going to start looking at where we're going to be positioning the panel against the carpet and where we're going to be gluing. We're also using here some plastic sheeting. This is just so that when we do actually flip over the panel, it doesn't get glue stuck to it. This next stage is pretty simple. You're literally just going to be using the adhesive spray and going in a horizontal way, or whichever way you find easiest. We just found this was the best way for us to do it. And this was obviously quite exciting for me because I was actually allowed to do something where I wasn't going to be chopping off a finger. Just as a little tip, don't forget to go around the edges one last time at the end, just in case you missed it. As we allow the adhesive to go tacky on the plywood, we are just pulling back the plastic sheeting underneath to then put on the carpet. Now I'm back at it with the spray adhesive, so obviously you know what you're doing there. But just to let you know, we did actually draw an outline of the plywood onto the carpet, so I knew roughly where I was putting the adhesive. And now we've put the plywood back on the table and we're keeping the carpet really taut between us. I'm holding it up one end and John, my stepdad, is now lining it up with the line that I mentioned a second ago that we'd drawn around the plywood as kind of like a template. And starting from John's end, he's just going to really carefully rub the carpet down against both adhesives and make sure it's all nice and secure with no air bubbles. If you've got a roller, I really recommend one. They are so good, just to make sure you really do get the carpet to stick down to the plywood as best as possible. Now we're just going to trim around the edges here. It just makes it a little bit easier for when you actually stretch the carpet up and around onto the plywood. You haven't got loads of material to be working with, and it just makes it actually quite a lot neater. A little tip here, especially for the corners or the very awkward bits, the best thing to do is to try and fold it over the carpet and actually snip the areas and get rid of those awkward parts. After that, you're just going to put some adhesive onto the edges that haven't got any glue. You're going to wait for it to go tacky and then start folding it and sticking the carpet back down to the plywood. Once the carpet is all stuck down and in place, just turn it over and make sure that there are definitely no air bubbles in it. Now, the one thing that we did forget to do, and it's quite a major thing that you might want to remember to do when you're doing this, is to make sure you put some sort of marker as to where the screws are meant to go. So what we decided to do was take the panel into the van and look at the other panel that we managed to do on the other sliding door and match up where the screws were meant to fit. And this is the finished result. Both sliding doors are sound deadened, insulated, plywood lined, and now finally carpeted.